Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Now in this video, I am going to tell you about typography. Typography is most important concept in web designing part. So this is nothing but designing a particular letter or a word. That is very important. You can see many designs of the words and everywhere in your daily life you can see many types of fonts around you and many types of designs around you. For example, you can see different types of fonts in storybook, in your Google or some websites, and in the advertising board, and in the newspaper as well. See, for every type we have different fonts written here. This is because by writing these kind of fonts, by using these kind of fonts, people will can understand the concept here, can understand the story here clearly. They no need to focus on that more and then read. They can, while seeing only, they can read the sentences easily and they can understand easily. And here in this banner we can see the advertisement is given in very large size, very bold letters and all, because this is a huge banner so that everyone can see it and everyone can understand it. And here in our Google we can see the fonts are so normal. They are very easy and they don't require any sort of effort while they are reading. And in newspaper, in our daily newspaper, we can see that the font, see the headings, that is the headlines are written in the bold, and the other paragraphs are so small because when we go into that only we can read the sentences, or else they are not necessary much, but the headlines are much necessary, so they are given in fonts and such a font that is bold enough so that everyone can just when we just look into that we can understand the matter there. So we can see different types of fonts used here. And yeah, there are many different types of fonts. For example, when you're creating something, when you're writing, typing something only, we have different types of fonts option like uh, serif, sans serif and all. So I'll tell about one by one. Serif is nothing but this is some of the standard format of the font. See, for this word we can see there are some strokes used here. For every end of every letter we can see some strokes used here, so this makes the letter very standard. So they are used mainly in a sort of newspapers, or if they want any word to be more standard, more precise, then they can use these type of fonts here. And then we have sans serif. See, this sans serif, this doesn't contain any kind of strokes here, any kind of strokes at the end of the letter. These are so normal. they they are usually used in the website contents, because uh, the website can be viewed in mobile phones, tablets, iPads as well. So for that we want the sentences, we want the letters to be so precise, so easy to read, so that they use this sans serif so that it looks clean and can be read easily. Next we have the display fonts. See, display, this is the type of font. This is nothing but some of the fancy fonts, some of the styling fonts and all. We have there are many different types of styles here, like script, black letters, all caps, and fancy types fonts. This is one of the font, like it's a very font fancy, and this thank you is also very fancy. So these kind of fonts are used when you write an invitation, and many other posters or any kind of banner, so that the content looks very fancy and all. And because of this decorative and fancy nature, they are used in very small sentences or words. Because using these fancy fonts, if you write a big passage or a paragraph, that won't be more that won't be readable actually, because that would be more more scribbling and all. So they're mostly used in small sentences or in a small sort of words. So they are usually used in invitations and some graphical designs as well. Next, through this we can see that the fonts that have their own importance. See, the fonts are also very important in everything, like any website you are designing, any banner you are designing, or anything you are designing. The fonts are very important. It is important to think of the font you are using in your message, because the message should be easy for the people to understand. If you use wrong type of fonts, people will never look into it, and the importance of the word or sentence may also change. If you find tempted by some of the fancy fonts, think twice and then use it in your message, because the fancy fonts, like for one kind of word or for one kind of sentence, that would be okay, but if you are using it for 2 to 3 lines of sentences, then that would be um, not a kind of fonts there. Yes. If you are using fonts to the headings or some of the important words or sentences, make sure that it is bold enough, so that it has its own importance, right? If the word is bold, so that they people will see that word first, so that they'll understand something is there in this paragraph, so that they'll get a brief understanding about that. And for any paragraphs or passages, use different style of font, so that would be clear enough. And but when you're using it for paragraph, make sure you select a simple font, so that it won't look heavy. Okay. And look, in this sentences, you can see the difference is that I've just given the space difference here, that's it. The spacing between the letters and between the sentences you are typing is also very important. See, I've taken only one sentence here. Here there is no much space between the letters, but you can see in the next sentence, next line, there is some space between the letters, and here there is like a little bit more space between the letters. So, what do you think is seen better? I think the last one or the second one would also be better, but the first one, it's so like it is so grumbled, and you can't read it properly. So this is what the difference between giving spaces between the letters, so that also matters. Not only in this single line, if you are writing any paragraphs also, make sure that you give some space between the two lines in some paragraph. If you don't feel like, if you're very confused like how much space to be given, don't worry, like there'll be some default space, no, like in every word or in any notepad, there'll be some default space given by that, so that you can use that. And the most important thing is the color you choose is also very important. For some words, you can't give any kind of colors, and then you can't write that. Choose the color that suits appropriate to that word and that gives the meaning to the word. Choose the color accordingly, so that gives more attraction to your word and to your message as well. So thank you for this video. I think you have understood something about typography. Typography is just a simple concept, but when you use it, you will get to know it better. So you making a small change will give a big impact on that line or on that sentence or on the paragraph also. So the meaning of the sentence or the meaning of the word will also change sometimes. If you give a suitable font, suitable bold or light effect, if you give the meaning of the word will only change. So that look into that and use this typography in a good manner, and then design your website, design your message accordingly. So thank you for this video. I think you have understood typography. This is the basics of typography. If you want anything more in this, just comment me below, so that I'll look into that, and I'll sure make the video. Thank you for this video. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you.